Welcome to the deep dive.
Okay, let's jump right in today. We're unpacking a really compelling legal case. It's straight from a recent Delhi High Court judgment.
That's right.
Our mission really is to understand what it actually takes for a court to frame charges in a serious criminal case. We're using this specific judgment as a real-world lens.
Yeah, it's about getting into the legal thinking at that crucial early stage, way beyond the headlines.
Exactly. And what's fascinating, I think, is how the court takes these established legal ideas and applies them to the messy details of a specific situation, especially with allegations that are often deeply personal.
Absolutely. These cases often involve very complex, very private circumstances.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're looking at a criminal revision petition.
Right. That's essentially an appeal asking a higher court to look again at a lower court's decision.
This one was filed by an accused, Sachindra Priyadarshi. He wanted the court to discharge him, basically drop the charges before a full trial. And these were serious charges. We're talking rape under Section 376 of the Indian Penal Code, the IPC.
Plus assault, criminal intimidation, even causing miscarriage. The judgment itself came down on August 12, 2025.
Now, the case really starts with the complaint from the prosecutrix. That's the term for the complainant in these types of cases.
Right.
This was back in November 2019. She alleged that in September 2018, her colleague, who's the petitioner here,
The accused, yeah.
invited her over to his place. She claimed he gave her a cold drink, she lost consciousness, and then, she woke up unclothed.
And the allegations didn't stop there. She claimed he then forcefully initiated physical relations.
And that this wasn't the one-off. She alleged repeated non-consensual acts followed.
Accompanied by threats too, right? Like uploading photos, videos.
Yes, serious threats. Nude photos and videos mentioned. Plus physical assaults that brings in Section 323 for causing hurt.
And Section 506, Part 2 for criminal intimidation, the more serious kind.
Exactly. And perhaps, most disturbingly, she alleged 2 forced miscarriages. Claimed he gave her medicines without any medical advice to cause them.
Which falls under Section 313, causing miscarriage without consent. A very grave allegation.
Extremely grave.
So, given all that, what was the petitioner's argument for getting discharged? How did he push back?
Well, his main point was that charges shouldn't be framed just on her statements because he claimed there were discrepancies.
Okay. Inconsistencies in her story.
That was the argument. But crucially, he focused on the medical examination. He argued her refusal of an internal medical exam meant non-compliance with Section 164A of the CRPC.
That's the Code of Criminal Procedure section that mandates medical exams for rape victims.
Precisely. And his argument was essentially she didn't fully comply, so I should be discharged.
Interesting angle. So how did the state argue against that, especially on the medical exam point?
The state's rebuttal was quite firm. They said, look, she was medically examined as the law requires.
So an exam happened.
Yes. Her refusal of just the internal part didn't mean Section 164A wasn't followed overall. And they leaned heavily on the standard for framing charges.
Which is?
Only needing a strong suspicion. Not a meticulous evaluation like in a full trial. They even cited a Supreme Court case.
Okay.
Hazrat Dean v's State of Uttar Pradesh. It basically says minor discrepancies aren't grounds to just throw out a sexual assault case at this stage.
Right. It sounds like the courts are careful not to dismiss serious allegations too early. But does that create a risk, maybe, of cases proceeding that perhaps shouldn't?
That's always the tension, isn't it? If we look at the bigger picture, the charge framing stage is critical, but it's limited.
Right.
His job is just to see if there's enough prima facie material enough on the face of it to even go to trial. It's absolutely not about proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
So strong suspicion is the key phrase.
That's what the court reiterated, setting Supreme Court precedents. It's not a mini trial. Any minor contradictions, those are for the actual trial later.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, especially regarding the rape charge, Section 376. How did the court view her statements?
The court highlighted something important. A prosecutrix's statements, the ones recorded by police under Section 161, and then before a magistrate under Section 164.
Right, the more formal one.
Yes. Those statements, especially for crimes that often happen in secret, can be enough prima facie to frame a charge.
Just the statements alone.
Potentially, yes. The court even noted that sometimes a conviction itself can stand solely on the victim's testimony if it's considered of sterling quality, exceptionally reliable.
Wow. And what about that medical exam argument, Section 164A?
The court shut that down pretty clearly. They found Section 164A was satisfied. She was medically examined.
When did that happen relative to the complaint?
Within 24 hours of the FIR, the first information report, being filed in November 2019.
Okay.
Her refusal of the internal exam specifically, the court deemed it irrelevant for framing charges, especially because the last alleged incident was way back in July 2019.
So months had passed.
Exactly. The court reasoned that an internal exam so much later would likely have very limited, if any, real evidentiary value anyway.
Makes sense. So after weighing all this, what was the final verdict on discharging Sachindra Priyadarshi? Did any charges get dropped?
Yes, there was a distinction made. He was discharged for Section 328 IPC.
That was the administering stupefying substance charge related to the drink.
Correct. The court found no medical evidence to back up that specific allegation about making her unconscious with the substance.
But the other charges?
Those were upheld. The court ruled that charges should be framed for Section 376-2, that's rape repeated on the same woman.
Okay.
Also for Section 323, causing hurt, Section 506, 2, criminal intimidation, and Section 313, causing miscarriage without consent.
So for those, the court felt there was enough suspicion based on her allegations.
Sufficient prima facie material, yes. The court basically said her specific claims about these offenses were enough to proceed. Things like whether the miscarriages actually happened as alleged, that's for the trial to determine through evidence.
Got it. So this deep dive really shows us, I think, how the court zooms in at this early stage. It's a specific legal lens.
It really highlights a difference between, is there enough to start a trial, versus, is this person guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Two very different questions.
And it underlines how much weight a victim's account can carry, particularly for crimes often without other witnesses. The refusal of one part of a medical exam didn't derail the process when the timing made it less relevant.
It's that strong suspicion standard in action, applied very precisely.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. How do courts strike that balance, protecting the rights of the accused while also ensuring serious allegations get properly investigated and heard, giving victims a path to justice?
It's a fundamental tension in the system, isn't it? That balance shapes everything that follows in the legal process.
Definitely something to mull over. A powerful reminder that these legal battles often turn on these nuanced ideas of evidence and suspicion at different stages. We'll leave you with that thought until our next deep dive.